Lawrence. How are you doing?
Hey, James, we're back. We're back 2 weeks in a row, unless, something goes horribly wrong, which is entirely possible.
2 weeks in a row, and so let me ask you a question.
Well, hang on, before you do, obviously you've got the shoot notes there.
Well, that's what I was going to ask.
The show notes, I mean.
I don't seem to be able to find the show notes this week, Andy.
Well, yeah, so second week in a row that you've dropped the ball on this. I don't know. I feel like you owe the listeners more.
Are there any show notes this week, Andy?
Listen, I don't think we need to get into a game of he said, she said. The show notes themselves they're not really the issue, are they?
Not when there aren't any show notes, Andy.
It doesn't matter. It's going to be a cracking episode. Anyway, welcome to Curb Canyon.
I think maybe what you should have said was, welcome to Curb Canyon Unscripted.
Yeah, well, that's it. So I did, do you know what's funny? I started writing show notes today and then I don't know, I actually got distracted by life and real work. And then, so when you messaged me saying, hey, are we recording? Because this is like 5 o'clock your time, obviously, in the morning. So way worse for you than me. I just sat down to watch Netflix with Kath. We just had dinner. I was settled. I had the dog on the couch. Happy night. I got your message and I was like, oh, fuck.
Oh, no. So is Kath sat on the couch there lonely waiting for you to come back? If you told her you're just going to be like, I'll be right back.
It didn't go well, if I'm honest.
Oh, dear.
She'd made quite a nice dinner. But tomorrow night is date night, so I'm sure I'll redeem myself.
Oh, good lad. Yeah. Give her the Andy Gaunt special.
Yeah. Do you know what? There's still plenty to talk about. And do you know what? I got to do this. I got to get this out of the way early. I need to start with an apology.
Oh.
To you.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, I do. I had a lot of messages through the week, people laughing about, your whole thing about you were driving. And I mean, maybe apology's not quite warranted, but your whole thing about how you were driving and the stripes moved in the wind.
Yeah.
And I told you that was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I'm pretty sure that was my exact phrase. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Absolutely.
I did some research.
I'm still a bit wounded, actually, just by how immediately you dismissed that.
So after I had quite a few messages about it, all of which agreed with me. Everyone thinks you're a knucklehead, so you feel comfortable in that. But I did suddenly think to myself, well, I wonder if that could be a thing. And I don't think it's the driving and the wind, blowing them away or blowing them to move. But I did suddenly think, okay, is there an issue with sticking something on ceramic coat? So I Googled this, and on a bunch of different forums, I ended up in a deep dive on Reddit. But there was a Ford Ranger or Raptor forum. You should check it out. You'd love it. And there was a whole thing about, can you put decals of any description on after ceramic coating? And dude, the number of comments saying absolutely not. I've had my shop tell me once you do this, you can't put decals on. People saying, I tried it, mine peeled off in a week. All of these things about basically if you are going to put decals on your car, do not ceramic coat it ahead of time. Now, I'm not saying that means yours could have just blown off center with the wind, but there may be something in it.
This is the worst apology ever. But okay.
Well, it's not an apology. I said it was going to be one. It's a completely reserved, hey, listen, maybe there's something in your story. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry.
So you take what you've just discovered online and apply it to my logic, and I think you've got some pretty solid ground to stand on.
I mean, you do, but we don't have any real evidence, do we? So
Yeah, we do.
Just a theory from you. And let's be honest, how many of your theories over the journey have been right? There have been some questionable ones, I want to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to stand by this one, though, because I have the microphone.
And you do not.
And there is no one else apart from you here to argue with me. And also, I'm going to volunteer to edit this episode so I can also edit this in my favor.
So you'll find something later on where you'll just throw in a comment like, I think the 964 is the most beautiful 911 shape. And I'll say, I agree, James. And then you'll put that in.
Exactly.
Right after
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, look, do you know what? I know that it for our shtick, I've got to be against you. But maybe there's something in it.
All right, I'll take it. Yeah.
That's as close to an apology as you get.
I will take it. I'll take it. That is as close to Andy Gaunt eating humble pie live on air that I'm going to get. I have, in the last week or so, have continued to have few people ask me why I got rid of my stripes. And I've gone back to that conversation from last week several times. And every time I've just been like, I didn't like him. Just pulled him off. I've just thought to myself,
They blew away.
Andy Gaunt. Well, all right. So you had something to start with. I've got something to start with as well. Did you see what happened to Jay Reid this week?
I was just about to say.
Poor guy.
We've got to make a shout out to a fellow content creator. What? Did you see the footage?
Yeah. Apparently the cop thought it was his fault. How in the world, based on that footage, although the cop didn't get to see that footage, but the cop got to see it in real life, but how in the world did the cop think that was Jay's fault?
So if you're just catching up, Jay Reid, great YouTuber, driving his 928 in the left-hand lane, Honda HR-V on his right, goes to merge. And Jay is already not only alongside him at this stage, but in front of him. I'm describing this like it's a turn one incident at an F1 race, but he is actually in front of him, and the dude just merges left and just slams into his car. And Jay's actually uploaded dash cam footage to YouTube. And I don't know, to me it's cut and dry. Other dude's fault.
Right. And they're on a roundabout. They're in a turn on a roundabout and coming off. So Jay's in the lane as you go over a roundabout going straight, and the car on the right should only
decides to turn
left. Exactly. The car on the right should only be coming off.
He can only go straight. It's breaking the law immediately.
Oh my God. I would have been so pissed if that happened. What a stupid accident.
Yeah, 100%. Does this level of media coverage, a hard-hitting, universally listened to podcast like ours, at all impact Jay's claim to the other driver being at fault? I hope not.
I don't think so. Given that Jay works in the insurance industry, and he's basically tried to just put the entire thing into the back of his mind, tells me that he doesn't think he's got very good hopes here. I just hope they don't total a car.
Well, it doesn't. I haven't seen all of the video yet because I started watching it today and actually put it as bullet point 1 on the never to be seen show notes. But I didn't get to finish watching the video. The damage didn't look all that bad from what I'd seen on Instagram, but is there more to it?
From what I saw, it looks like his door will need to be replaced, and the rear quarter panel will need to get replaced as well. It also doesn't look like the type of damage the paintless dent repair is going to fix.
No, absolutely not. But I don't know. I don't think that's a total job unless it's caused some sort of damage to the rear axle. That impact. It looks as though it's hit the rear right rim.
Yeah.
So maybe there's something in that. But I can't imagine them totaling the car on the basis of that. Surely not.
But Porsche doors are expensive. So I've been going through this process the last couple of weeks in my Cayenne. My darling mother-in-law. Absolutely love it to bits, in all sincerity. borrowed Ruthie's car to take the kids out. So she's doing a very noble thing, very gracious thing. Reverses my wife's car into the side of my Cayenne.
Of course.
Reverses it into the side of my Cayenne and basically takes out the driver's door and the driver's passenger door.
Okay, so I got a question. How does one temper their reaction in this moment? Because, like if it's one of your kids and they've grown up and they've done that, you read them the riot act. But what do you do when it's your mother-in-law? I mean, it's your mother-in-law. You got to be like, gritted teeth. It's okay. What did you say?
In all honesty, in the back of...
You read the riot
No,
act?
no. In all honesty, I was just so glad it wasn't the 9/11 that I actually just didn't care.
Yeah, fair
I was like, Lynette, it's fine. Don't worry. I'm just glad you're okay. Everything's fine.
Good answer. Good answer. That's solid.
To be fair though, she was doing us a favor. She was taking the kids out, so it's all good. However, back to the...
Sounds like she was taking your Cayenne out.
she might as well have done. So I went to get a quote for the doors. We're talking like $3,000 a door.
What?
Yeah, $3,000 a door to be replaced and then painted. These doors, the damage to mine is so bad that they're not going to be able to like pull them out. They've actually looked at...
How hard did she hit it?
Well, exactly. Exactly. How hard did she hit it? Well, and actually the other thing is, how did she hit it? Because all she had to do was reverse straight out of my garage, my 3-car garage, and my Cayenne was on the far side of the drive. She just had to reverse out straight and she would have missed it by a mile. But somehow she managed to reverse out at an angle into the car. But yeah, we're talking like $3,000 a door. So $6,000 is like the average quote I've gotten from several different reputable body shops. And the damage is so bad that they won't do the filler and the paint. They actually want to order the doors and replace them. But even with filler and paint, they were talking about, $3,000 or $4,000. So if an insurance...
But this is just an insurance job, I assume.
Yes, that's right. But what I'm saying is, like, back to Jay's situation, how much is Jay's car's worth with that mileage, that age?
Yeah. $4,000
or $5,000 worth of damage. I don't know.
I got no idea what a 928 goes for in the US, but surely it can't be anywhere near a total loss. There's no way.
Well, didn't he just spend $5,000 on it? I think he bought it for $5,000.
Well then, Jay, I'm sorry. You had a good run.
Yeah, I know. Oh, Jay. Yeah, I know. And right before the Tail of the Dragon trip.
I'm gutted for him.
I know. Absolutely gutted for him. He's putting on a brave face, though.
What's he going to drive on that trip?
I hope he drives that car. Dent and all, I hope he drives that car because he's put so much work into it. Yeah. He's just put a new exhaust on it, and it sounds absolutely incredible. Absolutely amazing. Yeah. Sorry, Jay. Love you, mate.
Oh. Yeah, Jay, we're thinking of you, pal. I'm very, very sorry to see what's happened. That's gutting, absolutely gutting. Now, you just mentioned Tail of the Dragon. When is that coming? What's the planning look like? And have you found accommodation at the top of an impossibly steep hill and gravel driveway?
June 19th is the day we're meeting up there, so we're leaving a few days before that. Sorry, did I say June?
Wait.
July.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're living in the past, man.
July 19th, yeah, we're arriving the day before. July 19th is a Friday. It's the first meetup in the morning in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. And we're doing the Dragon. The next day, we're doing the Cherrahala Skyway. The day after that, I think we're doing the back of the Dragon, I think it's called. There'll be lots of opportunities to take photos, to eat, to hang out. It's going to be so much fun. And then we leave Minnesota to get there, I think, on the Wednesday before.
So how many days do you drive just to get there?
2.
Far out.
Yeah, 2 days to get there, 3 days driving on the mountain, and then 2 days to get back.
Well, it makes for an epic trip for 3 days of driving, doesn't it?
It does.
But, I mean, obviously no choice, but...
It is.
Wow.
It is a pilgrimage. Although, I would say, I mean, there's no two ways about it. The first day is boring as hell on the way there. But the second day, there is a lot of great driving the second day on the way there, because you start getting into the terrain and the twisties. And on the second day, you can actually come off the highway and take the county roads. And there's a lot of great driving on the way into the mountains.
You've sort of evolved that, right? Like try and do some of those travel days, as you say, get onto the county roads and drive a few more interesting things.
Yeah. And the first time we did it, we tried to do it in one day, and it took us 17 hours. And at one point, we were stuck in the south side of Chicago in traffic for like 3 hours. I was losing my mind, absolutely losing my mind.
That's just flat out dangerous, man.
Oh, yeah. But, I have done a few trips like that since, just even a few months ago.
Yeah. Is that Skyway Road? I can't remember what you said it was called.
The Cherahalla Skyway. Exactly, yeah.
The Skyway. Is that the one that is in that Haggerty catchpole video with the GT4 RS, where it's sort of swooping along?
Yeah, I think so.
Like the ridge.
Yeah, I think that's the one.
That looked amazing.
Yeah, it's really, really great. And the beauty of that one over the Dragon is that it goes for like 50 miles or more. So you're on it for a while. Where the Tail of the Dragon, is a little bit more of a roller coaster ride. You're off and on it in like 20 minutes.
Is that how long it is? 20 minutes, give or take?
Yeah, pretty much. If you can drive it without the cops catching you.
It's a long. It's great to hear that there are so many other roads in that region, because, I think about some of the roads that I drive, and would I drive 2 days to get to just that road if it was 20 minutes? I don't know.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So it sounds like there's so much good driving around there, though. Right?
Oh yeah, totally. You could spend weeks there driving and probably still not do it all.
Oh, you must be pumped. Is this the first Tail of the Dragon trip in the 991.2?
It is. Yeah. Bluey Tooey.
Oh. Is Bluey Tooey having anything done? We do the tune or anything before? Are we lowering it before the trip?
Why would I lower it, Andy? Why would I lower it?
Well, think how much better it's going to corner on that Tail of the Dragon. And it'll look way better.
It is going to get the tune. Yeah, look, I've got I keep saying I am going to tune it, but it is getting at the tune before I go. I was just thinking...
What stage to this equal? What, there's stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. You're not doing any hardware, so no, turbo upgrades or any of that sort of stuff. It's just plug and play, right?
It's just plug and play. It's a stage 1 tune. It's going to take my 375 factory horses up to about 500. That's pretty epic, right? And it's going to take my 78 foot-pound torque up to about 520 foot-pounds of torque. Oh. So we're talking 991 turbo territory. Which is pretty exciting. I'm pretty excited about it. I've just got to get onto it and do it. But it will be done before I go on my trip. But I was just thinking about this the other day. One of the things I'm most excited about is stopping at Deal's Gap and buying one of the stickers that has the outline of the road, which goes on the rear quarter window behind the driver. I actually have a bunch of them that I bought and, sent to people that want them or whatever in my drawer here in the office. but I refuse to put it on the car until I've actually driven the road.
Until it's actually done it. Yeah. You gotta earn it.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So
that's so cool.
And it's going to be day one as well. So day one, one of the first roads we drive will be the Dragon. We're going to stop, and I can't wait for that moment when I stick it on the car. And then the rest of the weekend, I'm going to be driving around, and I'll be able to show off that sticker. It's going to be pretty exciting.
Well, and the great thing is, because you've got so many in your drawer, is if they've ceramic coated your windows, when it just falls off inevitably, you have a place to replace it with.
Or the wind is going to push it into a direction.
The wind just blows it.
That makes it look like a different road.
Sure that was straight. Yeah. And someone will say to you, why have you got the Nürburgring sticker on your car?
Exactly.
Hey, so tell me, with this stage 1 tune, are there any sort of potential pitfalls, downsides, things that can go wrong, or things that you need to do to support it, not from a performance perspective so much, but from a maintenance and protecting the longevity of the engine perspective?
For a stage 1 tune, absolutely nothing. And especially so with the 991. And the reason is the engine itself is the exact same engine that's in the S and the exact same engine that's in the GTS. Like the difference between my engine and the engine that's in the GTS is the tune that Porsche put on it, but also the turbos. So the engine that I have is able to deal with the power upgrade and the power that it's going to be putting out once I apply the tune. So there's absolutely nothing to worry about. What I could do is put the GTS turbos on and get those level of performance. I think what I am worried about is you can do a stage. I think it's Flat Six Motorsports in Orlando, Florida. Have this whole productized set of tunes, especially for the 991 and equivalent year Boxster Caymans, and they go anything from the stage 1 tune I think is $3,000 or $4,000, all the way up to about $15,000 for what they call a stage 4 tune, and it's the Cobb tune plus the pure turbo spools, which are bigger than the GTS factory turbo spools. Wow. And they can handle up to, I think, something like 800 horses, or maybe even 850 horsepower. So they can turn a 991.2 into a 700 or 800 horsepower monster. Now, at that point, that's where I start to get worried about, the kind of long-term damage you might be doing to the car. Because I think that's the sort of unproven kind of off-the-chart territory there.
Yeah. That's amazing. I mean, I recently drove a 991.2 GTS, and it's bone stock, right? Bone stock, beautiful car, amazing car. But I couldn't believe how quick that car was, and the effortless torque that it had. Driving it through the twisties up a hill, and what I found myself doing was accelerating, but not even using all the torque and power.
Oh, yeah.
Because it just felt like I had so much. And then when I would completely floor it, I was just laughing my head off the whole time. It's so fast. So you're going to have that level of performance.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I just, what's holding me back? I've had this tune sat on my desk for the best part of a year now, Andy. Am I afraid?
Do you have warranty on the car?
No.
Okay, so it's not like you got that to worry about. I mean, Porsche are actually very good at, at least here in Australia, even if you're out of warranty, they're pretty good at goodwill replacement of things. But I'd imagine if you had something go wrong with the car and they saw you had a crazy tune delivering 800 horsepower, they might take a, let's say, dim view.
Yeah, probably. Are there any tunes available for the 964?
Not the way you can tune something like a modern car where you just plug it in and you get this instant horsepower lift. There's certainly tunes I mean, with my Motec system, for example, that does allow you to do lots of different things with the tuning. And I know there's even simpler plug and play things like the Steve Wong chip, which helps alleviate some of the drivability issues of the 964. But no, you can't really just plug a laptop into what is a mostly mechanical engine setup and just gain a 25% increase in horsepower. It doesn't work quite like that. And actually, in air-cooled cars, the pursuit of horsepower, it's a bit of a one of diminishing returns. You got to have a lot of money to really get horsepower, like massive horsepower gains. I've certainly increased the power output on my car with all of the changes I've made to it. But then, I can get in my friend's 964. I don't feel a huge difference between the two, to be honest. And I think, I've always said this. I think if you have an air-cooled car, you want to get it running beautifully. You want really great drivability, and you want the engine to perform at its absolute peak. There's no doubt about that. But the real gains are there to be had if you get the chassis absolutely dialed. If you can get the chassis, the suspension, all of the alignment and all those sorts of things really sorted, then you have a car that will just carry momentum and corner insanely quick, and you can keep up with most things. Now, sure, if you're running with mostly modern stuff on a lot of roads, driving dynamics and power means they'll pull away from you, but you'd be amazed what cars I can keep up with in the 964. Yeah. And then, other friends who drive 964s or even older cars. I'm thinking of my pal Simon, who drives a hot rodded SC, and that car's been hot rodded but probably puts out maybe a little less than my car, I think. Sorry, Simon, if that's incorrect, if you're listening. I think that's right, just based on he drove my car once. But again, he can keep up with anyone in practically anything. He's just a good driver. So yeah, I've always said just focus on getting the car to corner really well. And I know, look, there are, if you look at what the sort of builds that Gamroth does, the sort of builds that Workshop 5001 are doing on 964s. I mean, there is horsepower to be had if you build a 4-liter engine, and all that sort of stuff. But you're talking huge money, huge money. Because even just to do just a straight up rebuild is expensive. Like very expensive. Then you start messing around with cams, then you start messing around with, increasing capacity from 3.6 to 3.8, or as I say, even 4. And then it just gets big money. And the challenge then becomes you have to take it somewhere who can do that work, deliver that horsepower increase, but also in a car that's still drivable and nice. I never want to get in my car and it just be a pig to drive around, but it's great when you're fully on it. Like, I want to be able to drive my car out with one of my kids and go for breakfast, or go away for a weekend with Kath in the car. So it's still got to be, it can't be a racing car,
Yeah. So your car's now what, 40 years old?
34
years old. How much of that is original factory in terms of, the suspension, the sort of replaceable parts? Is there anything
consumables? Yeah,
is there anything there that hasn't been replaced to your knowledge in 34 years?
Look, I don't know. My receipts and everything only go back to, I think, 2004 maybe. So there's a gap. There's a gap in my knowledge of what work might have been carried out prior to that, other than stamped service books and all that sort of thing. Yeah. So I don't know, for example, whether bushings have been done at any point. I think they need to be done. It's on new coilovers. All the control arms and all that sort of stuff. They're all the same. They're all original. it's really just like you say, the consumables. So I imagine bushings may have been done at some point in that 34 years, but there again, maybe they haven't. And I've done things like coilovers. I've done some bushings. I've done tie rods. So we've changed from the tie rod setup that we had to I think it's a 993 RS tie rod setup that allows the car, because the car runs so low, the traditional tie rods have an issue with the geometry changes as the suspension compresses. So all of that sort of stuff's all been sorted. But, I mean, I don't think the car could ever go back to original now or original spec now without me spending a lot of money on it.
Yeah.
I'm too deep down the other path, so I just got to keep going.
Well, Little Green's perfect.
Yeah, I tell you what though, Little Green is wearing the scars of a lot of rallies, and I mean, I'm sure I'm accused of detailing my car far too regularly. I just so happen to love doing it, and I love driving the car when it's clean. I mean, literally, I don't drive that car without getting someone somewhere give me some kind of positive reaction to it. I washed it on the weekend. I drove Ryder somewhere to drop him off, and then driving back, this car in this Mazda, a couple of lanes across, like swept across in front of me and looked like he was trying to cut me off so that he could turn a corner in front of me. And suddenly the passenger window comes down, and this kid is just hanging out the window with his phone filming my car. Like it looks amazing when it's clean, so I just love driving it clean. But equally, it's now, these rallies do take a toll, and particularly when the weather's bad and stuff like that, there is so much patina now on the bonnet, on the front bumper, on the rear guards, the lower sill at some, there's some spots on it that literally have no paint. So the car looks beautiful in photos, but and it looks good from a distance and it looks good at certain angles, but when you get close, yes, it's glossy and shiny as hell, but it's also, just, it looks like a building from Hakeev or something.
I don't know. I think, you see a car like that and of that sort of era, you expect that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's funny because there are some stunning 964s and some stunning builds that, whether you see them on social media, there's even a few starting to really show up here in Australia. We don't have as many cool ones, but you see these ones that are just, have been repainted. They're perfect. And I see them and I think, oh man, that's how I want my car to look. Because I would love to detail it to the degree that I already do, but the result be that the car looks perfect. Yeah. And I can't do that. I can't get perfection out of it because it's just too damaged. But, at the end of the day, I bought the car to drive it, and the experiences that have put those scars on the car, that's why I bought it. And they're amazing experiences and amazing memories. And everyone I drive with has the exact same thing. And, anyone that's bought a newer car, they're smart and they've done PPF all over it because of the way we drive. We don't leave them at home. Yeah. And their cars are protected. And it's easier if you're buying a new Cayman or a recent 911, all of the templates for those PPF coverings all exist versus getting one for a 964. It would have to be custom made. I kind of hate the damage and the patina, but it's stories. It's all stories.
So let me ask you this: if you chose to repaint your car, would you go for the same color?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, would I say that color is my favorite color for a 964?
What is your favorite color for a 964?
Oh, it's definitely right up there. Like, it's right up there. I love amethyst. I freaking adore amethyst.
Oh, that's like the sort of deep purpley one.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that color.
Darren Fister's car's amethyst, and it just looks stunning. I love that. That's probably my favorite factory color. I mean, I love ruby stone. I don't know that I could drive one though. I love mint. I think mint is just phenomenal.
Mint is mint.
But yeah, mint is mint. But no, I adore my car, and I think I've said to you before that when I was first looking, this was kind of when I was buying the car. It was a little bit before green was. Green's kind of enjoying, let's say, a surge in popularity these days.
Yeah.
This was pre that, and I'd seen the car listed on a local forum, and I'd kind of been uncertain as to whether or not it was right, and so much so that I showed Kath, and she was like, "Oh, green," and I was like, "Okay, cool." So I just literally immediately discounted it and sat on it for weeks, and then nothing else had come up, and I went back to it, and it looked as though it was no longer for sale. And then the thread kind of reopened, and just as I was literally typing a message to the seller to say, "Hey, are you still interested in selling?" And I showed it to Kath again, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that looks pretty good." And dude, honestly, as soon as I saw it, I know I've told this story before, but as soon as I saw it, I knew I was buying it. The green, I just loved it. And honestly, if I tell you, I would love to get a GT3 Touring in forest green metallic and have like matching spec. I just think that would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. As much as I really love my whatever mine is, graphite blue metallic.
Graphite blue. Yeah,
I do miss having a really bold color like Bluey was. I was just
blue was a great color.
I was just looking at photos of it the other day as it popped up on my screensaver, and I just thought, oh wow, I loved seeing that color in my garage. That's the dream, though, isn't it? Multiple cars, big garage, multiple cars. Let's do it.
Do you have a kind of like a go-to color? When you're on the configurator, or go-to colors, I should say.
Yeah, it's usually black. It's
right. Okay.
Unfortunately boring.
Oh no, black's great. I love black.
But yeah, it is usually black.
So my go-to, I love carmine red in the standard.
Oh yeah, that's a nice color.
It's such a great color. But if I ever go paint a sample, I always go to Oratium green. I just love that color. I just think it's so good, so good.
Do you find that you just you have a tendency to veer towards the greens? Because overall, I think in life, I have a tendency to levitate towards blue. And by the way, for those listening, Andy is sat here in a green hoodie.
Yeah, that's quite a fluke, actually. And you know what? Today I was wearing a green and blue kind of plaid shirt. I don't know. Historically, no. Although I remember being a kid and seeing, old mid-70s G bodies in, I guess like Python green, or like Conda green or whatever some of those colors were, and just thinking, wow, they looked amazing. So I've definitely always liked green cars. I couldn't, for example, I don't think I could drive a yellow car.
Yeah, me too.
I like a yellow car. I love them. Whenever anyone I know has one, I love it. I love looking at them on the road. I adore them. I just don't think I would have one. So yeah, maybe I go for greens a bit. I do. I like greys as well.
So actually, same for me with lava orange. I love that Porsche lava orange color.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I could have that every day.
No, I couldn't have it. Hey, now speaking of damage to cars and rallies and such, I can't remember. I can't remember what our last pod was prior to our last break, but do I need to check this? I don't know. I think I'm right in saying I never spoke about the Mega Loop Rally, right?
The what rally?
The Mega Loop Rally.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, we can edit this out if I did.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll check afterwards. So Alpine Range Rally number 9 happened in, I want to say the end of March, and 3 days before it, I injured my back. like really badly.
Right, I remember.
To the point where I knew it was very unlikely that I was going to go. I did everything I could to get myself in a position where I could go, but it just wasn't possible. So the day of the rally, I pulled out. I was gutted, devastated. Didn't get to go on the rally that I planned with my mate Rocco. Anyway, I kind of then selfishly afterwards, somebody just kind of said in our WhatsApp chat something about, gee, I wonder what you could do in a day, or something to that effect. And I thought, I wonder what I could do in a day. I wonder if there is a good portion of our Alpine Range Rally that could be done in one massive day. So I got on Google Maps, I got on Scenic and started planning what became the Mega Loop Rally, which was a single day rally that we did in April. And it was incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. So we all drove to, there's a place in Victoria called Bright, which is where we usually stay on the second night of our rally. But Bright is at the base of the Alpine region. So it's a beautiful kind of starting spot. And so we all drove up there on the Friday. Some people drove after work, got there late at night. Some people, like myself, kind of left at lunchtime and just cruised up there, but still managed a good drive. And in fact, I drove up with my buddy Erwin, and he had his 991.2 GTS. And when we were not too far from Bright, that's where we did a car swap. Mm-hmm. I got to drive his car on some amazing roads too, by the way. So it was a fantastic experience to actually give that car a proper run. And then on the Saturday morning, we got up early and then did this massive, massive day of most of the best roads from day 2 and 3 of our rally that we typically do. We managed to get them done in a single day. And so I think there were 8 or 9 of us who did the trip in total. And, we left Bright at 6:30 in the morning and just went for it. I said to everyone, I said, listen, it's going to be one of those days where it's a lot of driving. So yes, let's stop. If you get tired, if you're feeling fatigued, then absolutely, I don't want anyone driving in that condition. But equally, stops are going to be quite short. I didn't do all of the usual organizing of, places to eat and all that sort of stuff. We knew where the towns were that we'd have access to food, and that was it. And then we just, being a small group as well, we just went for it.
Yeah.
And man, it's one of my favorite days driving I've ever had. Notwithstanding a lot of kangaroos.
Really?
I came so close to running over a kangaroo. We were on this super tight, twisty road that heads towards a place called Mitta. And my pal Alan was behind me, and he saw it happen. This kangaroo kind of came bouncing up from the side of the road and then across in front of my car.
Oh man!
And I was, and dude, I was lit up around this corner too. I was going for it, and I was just full brakes. All of the antiquated ABS kicked in, all of it, and when you're trying to miss something and you're like, you sort of hoik yourself up in your seat.
Yeah.
To kind of see over the bonnet more to see if the stupid critter's gonna clear it or not. And somehow this kangaroo just got past me. I still to this day don't know how. That was amazing. But then this road to Mitta, which I'd only driven once before, and I'd driven it in 6 degrees and pissing rain, to drive it in the sunshine and just with this group of 7 or 8 of us, whatever it was just phenomenal. And this road goes on and on and on. It is so long and it undulates. It's up, it's down, it's open, it's tight, it's technical. It is just such an incredible road. And then that was, just one of a bunch of amazing roads we drove that day. And best of all, I pulled in to my driveway at home 5:30 p.m. Saturday afternoon.
Oh, wow.
And had dinner with the family. And then the next day at home, doing stuff. In fact, Kath and I jumped in Little Green the next day on Sunday, drove to a winery and had lunch. And I felt like I'd been away for a week.
Oh, that's really cool.
Just amazing. And so, and I think everyone who went was like, this is a really different way to do it. But God, it worked so well.
So are you going to do that again? Have you got one coming up?
I think we will. I mean, we've got Alpine Ridge Rally happening in November, which is number 10. And it's the first time we're going to actually stretch the rally, run an extra day, and there's a whole lot of places we're going to go that we've never been before. But I think this kind of approach is one where you can kind of decide almost last minute to just sneak it in. Hey, who can get away from work a little bit early on Friday? As long as we can get accommodation. Accommodation's the hard part because Bright's actually really popular. So that's tricky. So we might need to find a different base to stay. But yeah, I think we'll do it again for sure. Nice. It was a good way to do it. And kind of took less domestic credit, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. Well, Andy, video of the week.
We got one thing, video of the week. Because we did, you've seen this, right?
I actually saw video of the week this week, and it's a beaut.
I mean, so the video is called, it's actually on a channel called Soulful Machines, and 100% I'd say to you, go check out their content. They've got some really great stuff. They've only got a little over 1,000 subscribers at the moment, and they deserve way more than that, and I'm sure they'll have a lot more than that soon. And this video is called the Porsche 924, the perfect getaway car. And it's part of a series called We Drive. It's episode 2 in that series. How good is it to see a 924 in a piece of video content?
Yeah. You know, I suppose we're bucking the trend a little bit here by talking about Jay's car.
Well, it's a transaxle car. It's a rear drive front engine car. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, transaxle car.
I tell you the thing I love about it is something like a 924. You know, it's the unloved Porsche, no doubt. And I just love the way it's presented in this film. It's got this girl's driving it, and it's done in the way that some of the Petrolicious films were done and the like, with gorgeous cinematography. The car looks fantastic, and there's no. I feel like the 924 is one of those cars that people feel they need to be apologetic about, or yeah, I've only got a 924. You know what I mean? It's that sort of a car. Whereas this video doesn't take that approach at all. It's like, this car is amazing. It's my favorite thing in the world, and I just loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I love the way that the sort of the interlacing of the driving the car experience and the girl getting up and going for a jog and sort of experiencing nature and getting out and driving, the whole kind of adventure, and that was so cool. And the content quality, the whole sort of production quality was epic.
Yeah, 100%. And exactly as you say, I love that thing of, it wasn't just about the car. The car is this, beautiful white 924, but it's also her connection, her thing that gets her out into these amazing forests and out doing other stuff that she loves. I just, very, 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 very cool.
You found another winner there, Andy. Good job.
Well, I will share it on our Instagram. And with that, I think you need to go and plug yourself in via intravenous drip to some of your Minnesota brown. Just get some of that stuff flowing through your veins.
I will.
And get your day started.
I will. And thank you, everybody, for checking in for another episode of Curb and Canyon. There'll be more content coming soon. I'm James from Auto Amateur, at Auto Amateur. This is Andy from Last Rasp, and we are Andy and James at Curb and Canyon.
See you soon, gang.